after hauling in the nets. Shrimp are released into storage holds, and conveyor belts transport them to buffer tanks below the ship's deck. After sorting, the market-grade shrimp are either cooked or frozen on board. December and January are the busiest months in Australia's fishing calendar. It's a continuous battle to catch enough lobsters, with vessels capable of operating in this sector, generating an estimated $400 million annually. This is considered the most valuable fishery in Western Australia. This industry is a vital part of the fishery sector in cold climate regions, particularly in areas like the Arctic, North America, and parts of Russia. Ice fishing typically occurs when lakes and coastal waters freeze over. People drill holes through the ice to creating opportunities for a successful catch. On the coast of Nome, Alaska, fishermen can dive into the water through drilled ice holes. They search for crabs in crevices on the sea floor, where the crabs often gather. Each year, fishermen in Alaska harvest around 50 million pounds of crab. In addition, they use crab traps for fishing. After leaving the traps underwater for several hours, the fishermen haul them up, and the crabs are immediately preserved to ensure quality. Have you ever caught a giant fish that could impale your chest or capsize your boat? Many find it a worthwhile experience. This is the lucky fisherman, Ken Fraser, and the legendary bluefin tuna he caught off the coast of Nova Scotia. It weighed 1,496 pounds, even after drying out on deck for 10 hours. At the current average tuna price in the US, it would have been worth $1 million for a 613-pound bluefin tuna caught off the coast of northern Japan's Aomori Prefecture. This is because freshness is key in valuing a bluefin tuna rather than size. In Japan, fishermen tend to use longline fishing, with about 1.8 miles of baited lines to fish several giant tuna at once. Tuna is a strong and aggressive fish, so it can fight for hours. This could raise their body temperature and decrease the meat flavour. Hence, Japanese fishermen who fish bluefin tuna alone wire up and down its spine, because this is how tuna tends to heat up pretty fast. This is the traditional way to keep any dead fish fresh for longer, not just bluefin tuna, as it aids blood removal and treats nerve tightening. The fish is then thoroughly gutted to further accelerate cooling and prevent contamination, just in case the organs are damaged during transport. Finally, it is instantly frozen at -76 degrees Fahrenheit. This is how hundreds of giant tuna are guaranteed to be fresh for days and months on big longlining fishing boats. The Tsugaru Strait in Japan is renowned for its exceptional bluefin tuna, particularly during the winter months when the waters are teeming with smaller fish. At this time of year, bluefin tuna are prized for their rich, fatty flesh, and it's not uncommon to catch giants weighing over 661 pounds here. To capitalize on this seasonal bounty, when global tuna supplies dwindle, some pull of a large tuna. Known to reach impressive weights of up to 1,432 pounds and lengths nearing 15 feet, swordfish is a prime target in the US and Japan. Here, premium markets can offer up to $22 a pound for top quality merchandise. Recreational fishermen in the US use rod and line method and that's when the fight begins. With lines capable of handling up to 800 pounds of force, fishermen use heavy-duty rods and reels designed to withstand the strain. While their bill is a prized commodity for anglers, it can also be a deadly weapon, slashing wildly during a long fight. Recently, this dangerous side of the swordfish has caused the tragic death of Italian surfer Gianluca Manfredi, who was fatally impaled by this creature while surfing off the coast of Indonesia. Swordfish can dive as deep as 2,000 feet in time. As they rise closer to the surface to feed, fishermen use long lines, often attaching glow sticks to hooks, to catch the swordfish's attention in the dark. While one can fish swordfish and bluefin tuna alone, the fish I'm about to show you can even defeat the top bodybuilders and top NFL players. So of course, no one wants to risk fighting with it alone. This is the Goliath grouper, one of the strongest fish in the ocean, although its maximum record was just 818 pounds and 8.2 feet long. This monster fish inhabits the warmer waters of the Indo-Pacific, especially around the coral reefs of Australia, Indonesia, and parts of Philippines. Once hooked, the battle begins. Due to their powerful jaws and vacuum-like suction, the Goliath grouper strikes with explosive force, often making the first pull a life or death struggle for the angler. Its pull is so strong that it's been known to snap rods or drag anglers right overboard. Hence, Goliath groupers are typically caught using specialized hand lines or heavy-duty rods with lines capable of withstanding over 1,000 pounds of force. Fishermen rely on a special technique known as pumping and winding, where they slowly lift the rod and reel in the line during each small release, working against the fish's enormous strength over hours. With a market price reaching up to markets across Asia and the US. There are still many unbelievable giant fish catches around the world, but I will talk about them in another video. Now let's check out other giant catches in the sea together. Often found along the chilly depths of the North Pacific, from the coast of Japan to Alaska, the giant Pacific octopus is one of the ocean's most formidable creatures. It can stretch out over 16 feet and tips the scales at nearly 110 pounds. Did you know octopuses have the largest brains relative to their body size of any invertebrate? So they're very smart. There have been several reports of octopuses stealing fishermen's catch blow from a tentacle. Just like fish, they are also gutted immediately after being caught in order to preserve freshness. In recent years, individual octopuses have been auctioned in Japanese seafood markets for as much as $4,000. Similarly, the colossal squid can reach up to 45 feet in length and weigh over 1,000 pounds. Comparable to a Harley-Davidson motorcycle in both size and weight. Unlike smaller octopuses or squid though, catching a big size one requires specialized equipment or seasoned divers, who brave the cold, deep, murky waters to spot them. However, based on sperm whale specimens, scientists estimate there are only 4. The United States is a significant consumer of squid, particularly in the form of calamari. While there is some domestic squid fishing in the US, particularly along the East Coast, the quantity is relatively small compared to the overall consumption. Most of the squid consumed in the US is imported from countries like China, South Korea, and Japan, which are 3 of the largest squid fishing nations in the world. In 2022 alone, China caught a whopping 1 million pounds of squid. Do you prefer to eat squid or octopus? Let me know in the comments below. The Japanese spider crab, with its astonishing leg span of up to 12 feet, wider than the height of a basketball hoop, inhabits the deep waters around Japan and the northern Pacific. It's the largest crab on Earth, making it a prize catch.